this time. So let's talk about some B2 audio, baby.
Cruising down the back roads, windows roll low, with the music blasting, bass in that flow. Remembering the bonfire, laughing with my crew, jamming on the corner, soaking up the view. Every beat's a memory, every song's a spark, feeling so alive, yeah, out here in the dark. Cranking up the radio, rolling through life, loving making memories, music cranks high. Do you feel that freedom? Can you hear the call? Those back road memories calling to us all. The dreams are still burning, laughter is the same, sound still echo loud, can you hear that name? Life was so electric, every day a song, hearts on the highway, we could do no wrong. Chasing every sunset, world spin around, living for the moment, man, we're going down. I can feel that fire still burning in my soul, when nobody's watching, I bring my rock and roll. Those back road memories calling to us all. Calling to us all. Down the back roads.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I know this is not a normal night for me, but I wanted to talk about some stuff, and I enjoy this format. You'll notice the angle of the dangle is a little bit different tonight. We're working on this corner over here. Let me pull off the overlay. You guys can see the big blue barrel sitting over there. And if you look real close, you can see that there's a kicker 10 in the top of that sucker, and it gets down. What's up, El Fuego? El Fuego. Hello from the Pacific Northwest. And yeah, you already know where, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, the reason for this live tonight is I finally got I got power on the amp rack that I was building for inside the house. And wow, guys, let me tell you, okay. Yeah. So I expected the DSP to work well. I did. I expected it to do DSP things. I wasn't, I mean, it's 120. What is it? It's like 140, 150 bucks. It's not an expensive DSP. I was not expecting it to sound good. I was expecting the software to be gimpy. I was expecting it to require the software to be able to DSP, to be able to Bluetooth to it. I was expecting lots of little weird crap that you would get with an inexpensive DSP. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Guys, all right. I just can't. I'm on. It's going to take me a bit to get my thoughts out on this. So I'm going to pull this thing up here. If what you're looking for, okay, is 610, 6 in, 10 out, or 2 in, 10 out, or if you're looking for a 10 channel DSP that has Bluetooth, that you can tune it and operate it from a smartphone with really easy to use software. I mean, like, everything is exactly where you think it's supposed to be. Your fingers will just know what to do. Okay. If that's what you're looking for, this thing is the bomb, dude. I mean, it is totally the bomb. It is a great signal processor. Um, I got zero floor noise when I tested it, and I did. I slid all the volumes up. I turned the volume up on my phone, which is what I was using as a source. I cranked it all the way to full, max volume, cranked up all the sliders in the DSP to max volume, and on no music, when I had the music paused, there was zero sound coming out of anything. The music is crisp and punchy and very, very dynamic. It sounds really, really good. I mean, really good. Like, I would totally run this in my Tahoe. The only thing that I would give up switching to this DSP in my Tahoe is the controller, which I use up front, the physical controller to control the volume on the system. I need that because of the way I run my stuff. That said, you could use this if you ran the main channels out to a bass knob and then back uh, from the DSP out to a bass knob and then back to your your channels. I'm thinking about this. You'd have to run two bass knobs. You'd have to run two bass knobs. You'd have to run the DS for out of the DSP through one knob that ran to your mids and highs, and then another one that ran to your subwoofer. Then you wouldn't be able to control them together, but you would be able to control them completely separately. As it is, the way I control my stuff is with a master volume and then a bass knob. Okay. And honestly, when you're doing demos and all that kind of stuff, being able to turn the mids and highs up on their own and turn the bass knob up on its own that sounds like a pretty cool freaking plan. I might have to look into that idea. Anyway, I got off track because bass and stuff. But if that feature was available, this would be a 100% win for me. The Bluetooth function on it, there's two separate Bluetooth radios. So it's got one radio that receives a signal from your device. So you would Bluetooth to it just like you would a Bluetooth speaker. You just hit the button and it does the thing. The other Bluetooth radio handles the setup software. So when you're running the software, it will connect, and they connect two different things. So you can absolutely Bluetooth to this thing without having the software installed. It'll just hook up like any other Bluetooth speaker. Um, it all the boxes, all the things I would normally complain about with a DSP, it doesn't have any of those things to complain about. I mean, it does everything right. It does everything right. It just does everything right. The person who designed this, the person who laid this out and built the software for it and all that stuff, this person has had lots of experience with a DSP. This person has messed with DSPs and used them in the field. And they have paid the dues and they know exactly what kind of crap we're looking for and what kind of crap we're not looking for. It all makes sense. I'm really floored by it. Hell of a freaking piece of kit, man. Play it and live it. Said, hey, hey, hey. Bobby said, it's not Sunday. Bobby, I know. And Friday, tomorrow, that's also not Sunday. And we're going to be doing a show tomorrow because it is what it is. And we do what we do when we do what we do when we do it. You'll notice there's a different view. I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. I got the big blue barrel sitting over there with the Kicker 10 in the top of it. And I wish you guys could be here to hear that thing when I'm playing shit in here. Because I can play like 28 hertz or so, and the whole freaking house shakes. It's crazy how well that reproduces bass. I mean, it really rings. And at most, I'm only sending about 45 watts to that whole setup. It's just so efficient. It's basically an infinite baffle because that barrel is huge, compared to what that driver would normally have as a sealed environment. It's not getting any back pressure off of that. It won't play below like 28 though. 28's the bottom. It'll play 30 with authority, and anything 30 and up, it'll really slam the piss out of that. But yeah, it gets down up in here. Y'all would be blown away by how good that thing sounds. Rick Ross says, how's everyone doing tonight? Let's see here. There's a knot for your phone. I'm trying to figure that one out. There is a knot for your phone. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let's see the software. I can't. It's hard to show it. I got. Let me see if they have it over here up on the thingamajigger. Jeff shows it in his video when he does the unboxing video that's on the B2 Audio USA webpage. On the device, Jeff's got a video there. He shows the software, and I got some snippets of the software on some screenshots on the video that's going to be coming out here shortly. It's processing right now or uploading. But I can't. It's like the ability to show it. I literally be showing it with my phone because I mean, there's no. It doesn't. It's the only aggravating part about this phone software is I can't record it very well. I mean, I can pull it up. It's like this is the software, so you guys won't be able to see much of anything. But this is the main page right here, right? And then on this main page, you got your channel select. So you pick which channels you want to feed in. You got your gain for your main gain in and your main gain out, and then to all the different channels that you'd want to use. So you can set each individual gain, which is normal. This is all normal stuff that you find. This is each individual channel gets its own EQ, right? So you can go through here and pick each channel up and EQ each individual channel the way you want it. And just by selecting the channel, you can go through them and change those up, put whatever EQ you want. And then this other EQ, this is the part I love, man, is it has two of them. Where's it at? Is that it? Yeah. This is the main EQ. So you can set this sucker up to be in as a whole system. So once you've EQ'd each individual speaker, you can go in there and use the master EQ and EQ the whole system as a chunk. So this is like the input EQ. The other ones are output EQs. This one is going in, so it's going to affect everything. I think that's freaking cool by itself. That's a huge plus. And you got your polarity thing where you can change your polarities for each individual channel. You cannot select a partial polarity change. It has to be either here or here. There's no in the middle. That's one of those features that you don't get with this. But still, man, and you got your delays, so you can go through and do all the delay you want to do for each individual channel. It's right there. It's all so easy to use. Uh, the limiter, you set up your limiter, and that takes a little bit of know-how, but that limiter's killer, man. Your crossover points, so you can set your crossover points for each individual channel. Now it's all dead flat because that's how I had it set up when for the video that I shot. Uh, then you got your main gain, all of this stuff. It's all so easy to use. Everything is just simple. And then whenever you pull the software up, if it hasn't already connected, right up here in the very, I'm going to show you guys right up here at the very top corner where my finger is right here. I'm going to get real close so y'all can see that. See that? A little link. You click that thing and it'll automatically try to connect to the DSP. That's how you know things are working. If it hasn't already connected, that'll do it. It's a solid piece of kit, man. I mean, it is a really solid piece of kit. And the way that software is designed, if you have a tablet or something that you're running on your system, it all fits on the screen in a landscape format, so that it makes sense. You know, it's like it doesn't just lock into this little freaking vertical mode like every other phone software. It fits a landscape format. So you got a big wide screen with all your sliders and controls. It looks proper. It's really cool. I mean, especially for the price. Holy crap, the price, man. This thing right now, I shit you not, guys. This is one of the best values of any pieces of audio equipment for a car on the market right now. This is an insane value, and it's probably going to go up in price. I would be jumping on this shit. Um, Straight up killer piece of kit. Let's see here. Oh, I see what you're saying. There's a volume knob for your phone. Oh, that'd be cool. That would be cool. But yeah, I can see how you could make this work with and of course, if you're running from a stereo system to the thing, you can always introduce a volume knob, and the stereo is going to have a volume knob. And I like things a specific way, so I'm all about getting something that works for me. And I like the functionality of this. Everything is where my fingers think it should be. You're not digging through menus to find stuff. It's just ridiculously simple and ridiculously easy to use. Um, Bass 253. Hello and welcome. I use an IDAC Bluetooth receiver. It has optical and coaxial output. It plugs straight into the DSP with optical. It works great. Absolutely. Uh, Understand that. Hang on a second. Let me pull this around here so I can look. Let's see. Most people, do not make use of optical. Most people do not make use of a toss link, which is actually fairly old technology. Most people just don't use those because it's cost prohibitive. If you're in a scenario where you're running an optical from a head unit to your DSP, and all that, you're probably priced into an area where you can get equipment that can handle that. Um, and the optical, and it really doesn't game you much. You think it does. It makes you happy because you can say optical, but and the truth is, if I played a signal over a good pair of shielded RCA's, and then I played the same track over an optical cable, you wouldn't know which one was which. You would be just guessing because the sound is not different. The advantage to an optical cable is it doesn't pick up noise. So where an RCA will pick up noise going from the source to the DSP, or from the DSP to the amplifier, whatever, in the signal path, an optical, I call it a cable, but an optical connection doesn't pick up any noise. It doesn't have the ability to pick up noise. And that's what makes it so good. If you've got a noisy environment, you don't have to worry about it because they're going to pick up anything. Is it going to sound different other than that? No, it's not. People will argue about this, but having listened to both, you can't tell the difference between a quality RCA that's got a good shield to keep the noise out and an optical. They sound the same. Uh, but that said, is it going to sound good? Sure, it's going to sound good. It is what it is, and I appreciate that. It sounds like a nice setup. I have an amp that can run Bluetooth, John Dudley, Bluetooth 150 watts max on 2 channels and 300 ways, 3 ways max to passive subwoofer. And also, okay, so it can send out a signal to a sub, okay, to a powered subwoofer. Okay, the whole setup fits in the palm of my hand, but it runs off of house power, not 12 volt. I'm assuming that's supposed to be 12 volt. Yeah, I got things like that too. Um, and here's the problem with that. You could rig it up. The problem is in a 12 volt environment, there's a lot more noise happening, different noise. And so the systems that would normally work well in a house don't tend to work as well in a car because they're not designed to reject the noise environment that car has. You end up with a noisy system in the background. On the other hand, car audio equipment having such noise blocking built into pretty much everything tends to work really well inside of a house as long as you can put power to it. Fuego said, how much is it? Depends on which one you get, but in the $150 range. Like I said, it's kind of stupid. Let's switch over here. Let's see if I can make this work. So here's we're over here at B2 Audio USA. This is the black version. There's a silver and a black version, and we'll go through here and look at some of the features that this little dude has. So right here, this video here, if you want to see the software in action, you can see Big Jeff fight his way through it. He's pretty funny to watch. But right here is where you download the software, and you just click on the thing with your phone, download it. You can download it without buying it, so you can check the software out. You guys can go over here to the website and hit that download button and have that software running in 10 seconds, and you can play with it to your heart's content. Then you can delete it or whatever you want to do. So it's real easy to experiment with it. So you got 6 inputs, 10 outputs, 96 kilohertz, 32-bit resolution, crystal clear. Yeah, that's a thing, guys. Like I said, I messed with it for a while, played music through it, and it absolutely sounds great. You get a 4-volt signal output, which is good. And in case you guys didn't know, stronger signal output going to your amplifier means that you're going to have to turn the gains on the amplifier down some usually, which also means that if you do have any noise getting into that amplifier, it's going to reduce it. The more voltage that you're sending to the amplifier, the less it's going to pick up noise, the less it's going to show you, or the less noise you're going to hear. So it's always good to have that. It also allows you to keep that gain turned down and keep everything clean. Sounds better. 4 volts is not very powerful, but it's plenty to do the job. Compact and durable. Yeah, compact is a big deal. The thing's about the size of a sandwich. It's not even that big. You can put bread on it and pretty much completely cover it up like a hamburger. It's very small. 4.5 by 5 3/4 inches with 1.5 inches deep. It's tiny. So compact and durable, I'll agree with all of that. Premium grade sound quality. I can't fault it in its sound. I would not want to say that it's premium grade. It just, how can it be at the price? But whenever you're listening to it, you can't fault it. There's nothing you can say negative about the sound. It sounds phenomenal. So I guess I'd have to buy that, But yeah, you can get the black and the silver. That's what they're saying, the limited edition. Um, 10 volt out, 10 output, 4 volt DSP. Yeah, all of these things are right. Excellent piece of kit. It really is, guys. Um, it is an excellent piece of kit. It also, when you have the DSP up and running, another little interesting thing. Let me show you this on my phone. Hang on a second. This is something I wasn't expecting. Let me get off of that screen and so I can do this. So, something I was not expecting. If we go back in here to the DSP again, let me get that pulled back up. And it pulls up just that fast. So, you go down here to the monitor function, right? And you'll see at the very bottom, see how it says the voltage? When it's hooked up to your system, it's blurry, I know. But down here at the bottom, it has the voltage. That is the voltage that the DSP is seeing. So with this little piece of monitoring software opened up, you've got access to a volume control right here and the noise gate right here that you can set each individual channel. And you've got the voltage for the system all displayed right here. So, I mean, it's got a mute function where you can mute this, you can mute it. You could run this as your control for everything there. It's very neat, man. Uh, it's very neat. Very, very neat. Right now it's saying 14.35 volts. I don't know why, but it's not hooked up because the thing is turned off in there. Let's go down here and see what you guys are talking about. I love learning new things about audio software and new things coming out. Yeah, no kidding, man. Especially when it's good, you know. uh, so Bobby said, if I send you the software for the Down for Sound DSP and check it out and let me know what you think of it. I think I've seen. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. A little bit of backroom communicating. I'm reading those communiques. My Down for Sound DSP 6.8 was 240. Yeah. And I guarantee you, it's not better than this guy. I don't, unless it's got a feature. And I somewhat, like I said, this has got the features that I've been looking for, man. Really, really good deal. What's Corn Nut saying? Corn Nut says the Goldhorn DSP I bought does 1 phase increments. Yeah, 1 degree phase increments, but it come at a much higher price. And most people don't get that feature. 100%. I agree. That's like I said, it's one of those things that the person designing this said, you know what? Nobody uses this. Nobody. Like 99% of people don't use this. Why include this? Why even have it there? And that's what I'm saying. They just said, okay, this sounds good. Let's just leave that, that feature out. No one needs it. What D is Kenneth Wayne Waldmer said, what DSP is this? Just tuning in. It's the B2 Audio USA DSP 610. Let's see here. Digital signal. It makes the bass much clearer. Fair. El Fuego. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. What else is going on down here? El Fuego, hit me up if you want. You want any B2? Michael Smith said, I think my DSP just took out my 4-channel amp and door speakers. Also took itself out. That's how I figured it out. Sorry to hear that. Oh, yeah, the Tar Amps DSP. That's kind of, I was looking at those, and there's a whole lot of DSPs that are that style. And for a while, for your bass heads, it would have been my recommendation because it does just what you need. For most of us that are just doing big loud builds and we just need a way to control everything. But like you said, it took a dump. I've also noticed when playing around with those that I'm getting a lot of ground noise, a lot of noise under the floor noise. They're noisy, um, and noisy is bad, especially when you're amplifying something because you're amplifying the noise too. It's annoying. Will they do the job? Probably, but I'm not recommending them anymore. This is what I'm recommending for literally everybody, unless you are a complete SQ guru that needs the very best of everything and has to have all the tiny features. Uh, if you're not that person, if you're just the average person who likes really good sounding stuff and lots of control and wants everything to work, this is absolutely the DSP you're looking for. I mean, there's no way to argue with that. I'm still wearing this blasted thing from today. You see, I still got this stupid thing on my arm. I got to cut this off. I came home and went straight into doing stuff because that's how my brain works. See if I can do this with my left hand. And my hand cramping up. Jeez. There, it's off now. I forgot about that until just now. I was like, what the hell? I'm still wearing this blasted thing. Uh, I had to go get my 3 month shot, the one that makes my hormones all go away. Man, it's the worst thing ever. Um, Tar amps DSP, not good. Very cheaply made. Never again. Yeah. Check out this thing. The price is right. Jump on it. It's like, just jump on it, man. Um, yeah. Stetson. Joe's asking about Stetson. Same concept as the Tar amps one. There's a builder or two that are building a ton of those DSPs that have the little knobs on them and have the little interface that you go into and you have to push buttons and then you get it to the spot you want and you mash some more buttons to adjust the thing. You got the little jog knob and all that. There's a like one builder out there that's building all of those, and there's a ton of them, and they're all classified in the same area in my book. They don't matter what name is on it. It's the same piece of kit. Most of them are literally identical. There's a few that look a little different, but I'll assure you they're not. Now, someone pointed out to me that this DSP looks a lot like the Martz DSP. And I'm sure the same manufacturer builds it, but it's not the same as that particular DSP. There are some differences. That said, I'm sure the same manufacturer is building it. I'm sure they're very similar internally. But who's to say that that's a bad DSP? Uh, I can tell you that this one kicks butt for the price, especially. I mean, like I said, I would not have a problem with paying twice as much money for this DSP. Not any problem at all. It's like a steal. Anybody that's looking into getting a DSP and they're on a budget, there just ain't nothing out there that comes close to this. This DSP is on fire. Holy crap. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. We got the tacos.
Crushing on these tacos, we buy the fiesta. Guac on the side, man, you know it's the best. Lettuce and salsa, stack it high, make it pop. Crunch in my mouth, can't stop, won't drop. Sliver scissor in, flavors cold is so sweet. After one taco, I'm in for a repeat. Bite after bite, got me dancing in my seat. Hitting up the taqueria, can't face defeat. Taco love in every single bite. Feeling good, every feast all night.
So, your question is, would I suggest DSP after Epicenter or before? I would suggest well, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of Epicenter. But if you're going to use one, I would DSP after the Epicenter. That's my personal suggestion. I would have the Epicenter right there before the amplifier. So I would DSP and then run through the Epicenter. You want the cleanest, flattest signal you can get going into your DSP. That's, in my opinion, that's what I would do. And thanks for the donation, guys. Play It and Live It said, does this DSP require internet for the Bluetooth to connect? No, it does not. The D4's DSP have to have internet connection. No. I can connect to it as long as it's got power and remote and ground. The thing comes on, I can connect to it. No problem. I don't need any internet or anything to connect to it. So if you've got an Android stereo and you can download an app on your Android stereo, you could use the Android stereo to connect to the DSP and use it to do all the tuning without even having a phone. But you have to be able to have an Android unit that can actually allows you to run apps on it. And it's also got to be relatively up to date. I tried to use an old phone that I have, an old Google phone. It's like every bit of 12 years old. It did not work. But anything that's from this century should be fine. So let's see here. Joe said, okay, thanks, man. I'll look into the B2. Yeah, jump on the B2, bro. You ain't going to go wrong with this. This thing is really solid. I'm impressed with it. I do have some demos of my video that I've got, and it is not quite, still got about 20% left to upload, so it's not going to hit. It'll hit later on this evening. You guys check it out. I do some playing demos, and I'll show you some screenshots and stuff. It's pretty good. It covers the same stuff I've been talking about, but some extra stuff that I can't necessarily put in here. But yeah, download the app and play with it, man. It's really cool. And thank you, Joseph. And Play It and Live It said, I was just checking out the B2 DSP app. It's really cool. Yeah, isn't it? It's like I said, it's simple. You click on the button and the thing that you want is right there. It's all on the main page. It's got like 8 or 10 little buttons, and each one of those takes you to the section that you want to go. It's really simple to use. You're not confused at all. For someone who's new to DSP or someone who's a pro, this software you can pick up. It's like it's the first time you use it, it's like you've used it a dozen times already. You automatically know what to do. And that's the thing. So I'm all about that. I'm all about stuff that does the thing it's supposed to do and just makes sense. I absolutely hate having to figure something out. I want to use it. I don't want to sit here and have to figure out how to get to the function that I'm after. I want to just go to it. And to me, it makes sense that it would be there. It's like if you want to know how to lay out your software, take somebody who's done the shit before, who's messed with it, and say, okay, do you like the way this looks? And the guy's going to go, no, that's stupid. If you're not taking the step to put a person that knows how to use a DSP in there to give you an opinion on where the damn button should be, or what buttons should be where, you're not even starting to try to build something that's logical. I can't stand that. Tyler Walker, what's up, man? How much better is a modern day DSP versus an old school head unit with a full DSP? Let me think about that for a minute. When you say old school, that's kind of a broad spectrum. But head unit DSPs are limited to the amount of channels that they output to. So you're already, even on a good head unit, like a really modern head unit DSP, it's going to be limited in some ways. For one, you usually don't get all the same functions that you get. Most of the time on a head unit DSP, you don't get the ability to EQ each individual channel separately. Usually there's just a master EQ. Whereas a standalone DSP does have that ability. And not only that, not only can you EQ it, but you can make any band of that you're adjusting any frequency you want. So it's like you can fine tune exactly on each individual channel the EQ that you want. You can change the Q of the bands on the EQ. You know, you can make them wider and smaller, and this one does that. So you can affect more sound around the band you're adjusting, or less sound around it. You can adjust how much of that band you want to drag up and down with your EQ. There's just all kinds of different things that you get with the aftermarket or a standalone DSP that you don't get with the Hey Unit DSP. That said, if it's what you've got and it's doing the thing that you want, then go for it. Um, the quality of the adjustments are not going to improve over time, but the functionality will. The features may sound the same. Like if you adjust this on this and then you adjust the same thing over here, it may sound the same. But the difference is on one, you're going to be limited to a spectrum. Over here, you're going to have a much wider spectrum of adjustment. Um, that's the differences between them. So it is a thing. Um, yeah, 2000 to 2010, good years for audio, man. But there's a lot of stuff where we were struggling. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. You'll find that you'll prefer standalone DSP more than one built in a head unit. It's gonna be easier to work with, and you're gonna have more options. So if you compare the two yourself, you would pick the standalone DSP. It's just going to have more flexibility and easier controls to work with. Play It and Live It said, I'm a fan of the limiter. Yeah. Can you do a little teaching? Attack and release. Man, that is a touchy subject. I really need to. I really, really need to. That is such a complex subject. And I am not the best at that. I would be struggling trying to explain a lot of that stuff. But okay, so I'll give you the bare bones version. Whenever you have to consider that the limiter is working with a live program. Okay, it's reactive. Okay, it's reactively limiting. As your signal is going into the limiter, okay, it's reacting to what it's seeing. So the attack is how quickly it cuts to begin with. So if say there's a snare hit coming in, right? The attack is how fast it cuts that signal. And then the release is how long it takes before it lets that channel come back up. So if you want it to really aggressively cut a signal, then your faster attack is going to be, or more attack is going to quickly pull that signal down. And then a really short release is going to quickly put that amplitude back up. But it's not going to sound as natural. So you have to find a happy medium between how much attack you want versus the release you want to keep the sound natural sounding, but also still give you the limiter functionality. I hope that is enough, because that's about the best I can do. It gets more complicated, but that's the gist of it. Let's see. Tyler Walker said, it works. Just let me adjust my main speakers and my subs very well. Yeah. Slope, EQ. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. I mean, it's going to give you like crossover points and level adjustments and some basic stuff, but it's not going to give you the other functionality. And that's the problem. And that's what you're going to gain with the standalone DSP. And no problem, man. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Blown Fuse. I love the name, man. That's good stuff. I wish the B2 DSP had a little better EQ adjustment, like into the teens, a 1x1 hertz adjustment. Well, yeah, you can do some pretty cool stuff. Let me look at this real quick. I'll dig a little deeper into pull this back up. So if we're looking at the channel EQ, okay, so that's the frequency right there. Boom, boom. 20, 21, 22. That's the Q factor. And then, okay, so you guys can't see none of this, and it's going to be impossible for me to do this on camera and all that stuff. But you guys can see this. You see those red things on the ends? So when you have a particular band selected, you can use those red blocks. One of them is a positive and one's a negative. And the positive and negative will adjust 1 dB at a time. So you can do 1 dB increases and decreases. And you got your Q factor over here on the right and your frequency on the left. So you can use the frequency. So once you select the slider, let's see here. Once you select one of those sliders, one of those bands, right? Then you can use the frequency changer to change between different frequencies for that slider. So if it's like a 50 hertz slider, but you need 48 hertz, you can change it to 48 hertz. And over there on the Q factor, you can set that to the Q, to how much of the area do you want to affect. And then you can use the red on the left and right to adjust it 1 dB at a time. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me see here. Put that back on charge. Charge, damn you. I got one of those pads. I love wireless charging. Never go back to wires once you start using a wireless charging mat. So yeah, that covers it. Yeah, blown fuses. I just downloaded. It's not bad. It really isn't, dude. And like I said, you immediately know how to use it. It's like it all makes sense right away. There's nothing about it that's confusing, and that to me, man, that's everything right there. You guys want to jump in there and get one? You can buy it through B2. You might get a better deal on Big Jeff's site. Let me go look and see. Oh, wait, my wife messaged me. Oh, okay. My wife messaged me. I got to message her back because, wife. Base wife. Let her know. She said she's getting off a little bit late. She works 2 jobs right now, guys. I don't even, I feel like total and complete garbage because of it, but she's working 2 jobs. She works her day job and then she works her night job. Hopefully that's going to change soon. We're doing our best. Yeah, I know. I air all my dirty laundry, all of it. So on a separate note, you guys see the blue barrel over there. Do you think I need to leave the blue barrel there, or do you think I should do something different? Because I could make that look a lot better over there. But the blue barrel has kind of become a thing. So, it's almost oh, I do have another thing that can go there. I was thinking about it earlier. I woke up thinking about this. So I don't know. Anyway, what kind of ideas you guys have? Because I could do some stuff over there. I just don't know what yet. But I'm going to be doing something over there. I just don't know what. The blue barrel sounds amazing. I mean, it sounds so good. But it's a big ass 55-gallon barrel, and it takes up a lot of space, and it's not cool. It just sounds cool. I might, and whatever stuff I put needs to go in that corner. That corner over there loads this room so good. We're doing a little blackout here. Let's see. Blown Fuse said, which by the way, guys, you can go download it without buying it. Yeah, exactly. It's just a matter of just clicking it and downloading it and you're messing with it. I think you'll be impressed. And I was, and when I finally got the thing and got to running it, yeah, I was. So it actually was a giant Bluetooth speaker. Let me go over here and show you something. Here, y'all stay here. I'll be right back. I'm gonna be over here. I'm gonna go over here. Keeping it real, baby. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but let me show you. See if y'all can see. There went that thing. See if y'all can see this. So there's the kicker. I got a little plug up here. It normally houses a 12-inch Sony Explode, but it's got this in it. And I had these little things mounted right here. They were for some mids, some 6.5s, little pods. And I was going to make a giant Bluetooth speaker out of it. This blasted thing right here with the green circle, that talks to my heart. Set Rick back up there. You sit right there. Don't fall. Stay put. Don't you going anywhere. Yeah, that little thing right there, it actually talks to my heart. It has my heart connected to it. My heart's online, man. I'm a friggin' cyborg. Y'all recognize. And I asked the guy when I was getting it implanted, I said, now, can the Russians hack this thing? He looked at me dead serious for a minute and sit there and thought about it. And he said, yeah, it's possible. I'm like, really? No way. So, yeah, my device in here, this thing. Can you see that? Look at that. That wound's almost healed up, guys. Looks good, huh? You can barely tell, There's a one little sore spot right there, but it's pretty much healed up. And the whole thing is like right there. It's like the size of it's about the size of a Zippo lighter, like in my chest. Kind of neat. But yeah, we're rocking, baby. We're rocking. Well, I'll be. Yeah, no kidding, dude. So yeah, I was going to make a Bluetooth speaker out of it. That's why I went through the trouble of that. The board on the end is one on the other end, same way. So it sits like a square. When it's laying down, it can sit, and hold itself in position. I added the board going up and down to allow me to get more grip on the whole thing, and also to help rigidify the barrel just a little bit. I was planning on doing a plywood on all four sides and making it a big, huge box. I don't know. I was kind of just going with the flow. And then I stopped right there, and man, it sounds good. It's so much bass. But guys, I just wanted to bring this to you tonight. I wanted to talk to you about it because I think it's an excellent buy for an excellent piece of equipment. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Blown fuses, I saw the delay feature. Is that to help time domain? Make my bass seem like it's not lagging behind? Yeah, it can do that. So it's primarily what the delay feature is. It's called time alignment. Its primary job, if you're sitting in a car, you got your left speakers right here, and your right speakers are way over across the car. If you delay the left speaker so that the right speaker's sound can get up here, and then right about here, all of a sudden they'll both play together, it makes it sound like you're in the middle of between two speakers and not way over on one side. That's what time alignment usually is for. But also, if you've got your mids and highs way up here and then your subwoofers back here in the trunk, using a delay on the rest of your channels so that your subwoofer can play, has a chance to get ahead a little bit, will absolutely help that delay. And I actually do it by ear. You can use a tape measure and do it by length and whatnot. What I do is I'll play something like Phil Collins, I Don't Care Anymore. That's my go-to track. Look that up. It's got drums that go boom, 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 right? Starts out up in like 70 hertz ish and kind of comes down to a good solid thump at the back end. Well, I listen to that track and I get the sound of the drum. The drum has a more of a sound to it besides the it's got the rings and other stuff. And I'll listen to it and I'll try to get the sound as you delay it. You'll notice that the sound will tighten up more and more and more. And then at a point, it will sound like the drums are coming mostly from the front instead of in the back. If you get to that point, you're like so close to being perfect. And I also use that same track to adjust the subwoofer level if I'm setting up an SQ system, right? Or a daily driver. I'll adjust the bass down or up until the high drums sound about the same output level as that last couple of kicks at the very end. So it's doom, 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 boom, boom, right? As you turn the sub up and down, that boom, boom is going to be louder and softer. And I adjust it so that they sound like they're all about the same level. And then once you do that and then get that sub time aligned in to the front, now the drums will sound like they're up here in this area and they're coming from a stage. And it's a magical thing when you get that figured out. That's what I do. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this helpful. Has anybody else got any questions about DSPing or this DSP or anything about a DSP? Why do I need a DSP? What can a DSP do for me? I mean, besides the fact that it does all the things, it allows you to Bluetooth straight to basically a system without even having a head unit. That's cool. That's way cool, man. Blown Fuse said, yeah, I just got a recoil amp and I adjusted the left speaker to be a little quieter, but I guess it time delay. Yeah. And the thing about that is it isn't always like that. Your left speaker is closer, but if it's down in the door, it's also firing like way over there. This one over here is firing directly at you. Sometimes turning up the speaker that's close to you can actually help center your image. It depends on where it is and what direction it's pointing. If it's pointing at your face, then turning it down is the trick. But if it's down there pointing at your leg and it's like 90 degrees from your ear, you may end up having to turn it up a little bit to make it balance out. And that's where having different control for every individual channel is cool, because you can do a balance with your threes or with your tweeters. You could reduce the volume on the left because it's pointed at your head, or increase the volume on the right and make it sound right. But then down on the doors, you could do the opposite thing. It doesn't always work out to be the same solution. And having the ability to control each individual channel all by itself and EQ each channel is a huge, huge, huge game changer. Let's see. Play it and live it. I'm trying to figure out the question. First, you have to solve the question, then you can solve the problem. On your calculations, what's the highest voltage coming out of it? On the DSP, I haven't checked the voltage coming out of it, but it's a 4-volt output, so I don't know. I know that I had the gains turned down. I had all the gains turned down on everything for most of my testing. I did crank up everything once to see if there was any noise. See, I couldn't. I don't have enough experience with it to give you that information. Um, ah, there's Base Wife. Base Wife, we made a discovery. So you know,
Why is her phone on my desk?
you're on camera. See,
Uh,
yeah. Hi. We made a discovery that it takes about 20 seconds or more for the comments that people type in before they show up on my screen.
oh,
So that's why everybody was not saying hi to you. They were.
oh.
You just couldn't see it. By the time you left the room, then they showed up. So
I'm not losing sleep over it.
you're not losing sleep?
I'm not losing sleep.
Are you
over
gaining
it.
sleep?
I'm definitely not gaining sleep.
All right. Well,
I didn't throw your plate in the trash.
I have. Yeah, don't throw my plate away. I'm gonna eat lasagna here in a minute.
Okay, well, finish your thing. Bye.
I love you, dear.
Love you.
Y'all have an awesome base wife. Uh, let's see here. The right at head level. The A pillar custom. Yeah. So on your A pillar, you may have to reduce the volume to the one that's closest to you because it's kind of more or less in your ear hole. But down in the door or in kick panels, because the direction the speakers, it's if you're way off axis to it, you may actually have to increase the level of that one to balance it out. And that's why being able to do each individual channel makes a big difference, because normally you'd be stuck with just fading one way or the other. And that doesn't always solve problems. Another thing is the being able to EQ each individual speaker. So I'll give you an example. Okay. So you got the speaker over here, you got the speaker over here, and you're listening to a song. If you used a meter on them, if you put a meter right in front of each one of them, it would have the same output. I mean, the same EQ, right? But since one of them is closer and probably behind your leg a little bit, or not quite on axis over here, and the other one's on a different axis over here, or maybe it's got to go over the center consoles in the way, or maybe the passenger seats in the way, or whatever. Functionally, what happens is by the time the sound gets to your head, to your ears, even though it started out coming out of the speaker, the same sound group, after dealing with all the crap it has to deal with, by the time it gets to your listening position, they don't sound like they did. Like, say this one down here by your leg may not have very good highs in it. It may be cut quite a bit. And the one over there on the right, it may not have as much bass coming to your head. It may be, colliding with something and causing a problem. Being able to set up a mic where you're at and run an RTA, and then do each individual channel and EQ it so that it's back to a balanced state at the microphone, which is at your head. Being able to EQ each individual channel to where the left and the right at the microphone sound the same. And then also EQ them both to where they're mostly flat. You don't want to EQ a dead flat. Dead flat EQ sounds like hot shit. But you don't want any big spikes or big dips either. So you want something that looks kind of like the hills on the old Microsoft background, right? Nice rolling, smooth hills. You don't want anything that stands out in the big spikes or dips. So when you get that point and you get both of them playing the same game at the microphone position, which is at your listening position, that helps to fool your brain in thinking you're in the center also. An acoustic correction. Again, this is something you can do with a standalone DSP that you're not going to be able to do with a head unit. I hope you guys found some of this helpful. I'm doing the best I can to explain the concepts. I can go quite deep on the DSP world. Cornut said, I sent you an email in case you want to get that Bluetooth speaker updated. Oh yeah, with a better sub, dude. That little kicker comp Q, whatever it is, that thing's. I'm telling you guys, I can't play it for you. If I did play it, you wouldn't be able to hear anything about it. It would just be all jacked up. The audio would be, but it's got some bounce to it. I mean, some really good bounce. Um, like what a curve, man. Like if you were here, you would understand. Everyone that hears it in person just kind of stands there with their mouth on the floor. They're like, why does that sound so freaking good? Having said that, it sounds just as good with the Sony Explode 12. There's literally sounds identical as the 10. It's the barrel. It's the barrel. That Sony Explode 12 over there, which is just sitting right around the corner over there. I just hadn't put it back in because I didn't need to. I was testing the kicker, the little kicker 10 to see how it worked, and it worked perfectly. And I just never took it out because it's just doing the job. I could probably put a 6.5-inch sub in there and still get that thunder. It's impressive, man. That barrel is amazing. You sent me the link for it. Bet. I will check it out. Play It Live. It says some part of the car will be resistant and some parts will cancel frequency. Yeah, there's a lot of that. You can get reflected sound that can actually boost the frequency and create a hot spot. Like for example, if you're sitting there, you may have say 2K is bouncing off the glass and coming back to your ear, and it's just right so that when it gets to your ear, the reflected frequency and the frequency coming out of the driver are in sync with each other at your ear, and that makes that 2K sound really hot, right? If you move yourself a few inches toward one way or the other, it goes away. And you won't notice this so much in music because your brain just kind of smothers it out. But if you're playing a frequency generator and you're running that when you're running the sweep, 1000, 1100, 1200, you're doing the sweep to center your images and stuff, you'll hear it. It's like as you move your head side to side, it'll be like that. That's what it'll sound like. It'll sound like it's hotter in a spot and then it kind of muffles down. And you don't hear that in the music per se, but what you will notice is if you got like a sax solo or a guitar solo or whatever happening, you'll notice the sound drifting around in the area instead of coming from that focused spot. It sounds like it's kind of moving around in space instead of coming from a focused spot. And that comes from that technique also. You can figure that out like that. I'm just giving you guys basic concepts. The little tweaks and details are things that you get better at on your own, and I'll help you with those. If you want me to get deep into stuff, I can deeply get into it. But I'm trying to give you the basic concepts of what you do with the DSP and how you can change things. So one thing that I do is once you do your time alignment, you do your tape measure time alignment, you got it close, is I'll take 2 pairs of speakers. So whatever the pair is from the side, left and right, I'll take those. I'll isolate it. I'll cut everything else off in the vehicle, and I'll just have those 2 speakers. And then I'll do a sine sweep. So I'll start out wherever the bottom of those speakers are, wherever they're playing, up to about 5K. Anything over 5K, my brain cannot handle it no more. But I'll start out at, like, say, for example, 80 hertz and go up to 5K, which is typical for, mids, for mid woofers, mid lows. I'll play the 80 hertz and I'll listen. I'll sit there and look straight and listen and see where that sound is in the field. If it sounds like it's in front of me, then I'll move up. I'll slowly slide it up to 80 through 83, 84, 90, whatever. And all of a sudden, you'll start noticing the sound moving to one side. Okay, it'll move over. When that happens, there's a couple of ways you can sort that. One, you can use the EQ to reduce the frequency. This is the best I suggest doing it. Use the EQ, like if it's moving towards the passenger, moving toward the passenger side, use the EQ to reduce, set your Q at a fairly big number so it's nice and narrow, and use the EQ to reduce that frequency on that door that's going towards. And as you're reducing it, just listen and you'll hear that sound move back to that spot again. And once you've got it back in the general area again, then you start working your way back up and to 95, 98. And then you'll know, oh, well, now at 98, it's drifting this way. Go over here, cut a little bit. Always cut a little bit of that frequency over here, and you'll notice the sound start drifting back in the spot again. You go up that entire range till you get to your brain melt, until your brain explodes. You'll have to take breaks. You're going to have to turn the volume down. You're going to have a beer, maybe 5, maybe 12. Work your way up to about 5K. 5K, you're good. If you do that, the good part is when you get done and your brain is completely in a puddle of goo on the floor from that, then you can turn on a song and go, oh, that sounds crazy. Because now, and don't turn on any of the speakers, just the ones you're working on, just those two, and listen to how everything sounds. Turn on something that's got a good, clean song. It's got good, clean audio. And one of your favorite tracks, and listen to it, and just bend your brain. And you do this with all the drivers, but the main ones are everything that's between 80 and 5K, because that's where like 99% of the music you listen to comes from. You want those. That's where all the music is. You want those to be on point like this. And adjusting them this way will get that scent, will make it sound like the singer is right there. And then the guitar player is right there. And they don't move. Everybody's where they belong. You can see the band. The band makes sense. And the clarity and the snap and the life and the dynamic life that comes out of it just changes the way your brain works. It's an addictive thing, very addictive. Then when you get done, turn the rest of the shit back on and get your mind blown again. This is the cool shit you do with the DSP. Hours of drinking and tuning. It's the best therapy ever, to sit out and listen to your favorite group and have it sound phenomenal. It's like, wow, just wow factor. And that's the best part about SQ is that. Like you hear stuff in songs that you've never heard before. You've listened to a song a million times and never noticed that there was a tambourine at this one part, or that there was a drummer, hit the rim of a drum in this part. You start noticing little stuff that you've never heard. And it's because you've been listening to distorted crap for so long that you never even heard it correctly. And once you do, it changes you forever. You can't undo that. So even in my bass vehicle, where I got people's hair blowing all over the place, I EQ the shit out of that build, because I want it whenever it's not, even when it is, I want that same sound. You go after that image. You still want that sound field. You want that to be there. You can't not do it. It sounds so bad when you don't do it, and it drives you crazy. But yeah, it's a drug, man. Straight up drug. I have a Stepson DSP, trying to figure it out. Yeah, good luck with that one, man. Good luck with that. We don't have a lot of luck with that particular DSP. Android, man. Bobby said, do I have Android or Apple? I have Android. I do not I do not use fruit for my computing needs. Lex HP, what do you think will be louder? 4 6.5-inch coaxials or 2 8s in mid bass? Well, okay. I think they're going to be similar loudness, but your eights will probably have a lower FS and will probably play lower frequencies a little better than your 6.5s will. This is the differences that matter. So even collectively, you'll have 4 6.5 cones, but that's not going to change the frequency range that they like to play. They're just going to move more air. So if you're wanting them if you want your mids a little fatter, you want a little more fatness in your mids, a little bit more grunt, the eights are probably going to be your better choice. Then beyond that, there's not going to be much difference. Yay area said like I'm feeling better now, brother. Good. Color back. Thanks you, brother. It's I've been out in the sun, so we're just getting sunburns. But if it looks good, then it looks good. I appreciate that. What's the song I use for my imaging? I use about 4 different songs. One that you'll be able to find pretty easy is the Eagles. What's the name of the song? There are stars in the southern sky. That one. 7 Bridges Road. That's a good one. I like Sexual Healing. That's a really good final listen to song, like a finished song. And what's another one? I'm trying to think. I've got a playlist that I use for SQ. Those are 2 of my favorites: Sexual Healing and 7 Bridges Road. For different things I'm listening to. Yeah, that's all I can think off the top of my head. Raymond said, "Good evening. What's up? We got the taco in the house."
Crushing on these tacos, we buy the fiesta. Guac on the side, man, you know it's the best. Lettuce and salsa, stack it high, make it pop. Crunch in my mouth, can't stop, won't drop. Slimmers in, flavors cold and so sweet. After one taco, I'm in for a repeat. Bite after bite, got me dancing in my seat. Hitting up the taqueria, can't face defeat. Taco love in every single bite. Feeling good, every feast all night.
He says, love it. Deadpool dance. I love it, man. My little girl Deadpool. So funny. What RTA software do I use when I'm tuning? I use a cheap app. I don't have it. Let me see if I have it on my phone. It's on my tablet. And I have the paid for version of it. I'm just going to look and see if it's on my phone. That way I can tell you, because I don't have my tablet in here with me to be able to cheat and look at that. I could have swore at some point. I think it was like, no, that's not right. Let me look up an app real quick, and I'll tell you what it is when I find it. I want to cheat again. I use an app, and I've got microphones. Yeah, there it is. I'll show it to you. So this top one right here. You guys can see that. Probably can't. Yeah, it's just showing up as a white block. It's called RTA Audio Analyzer. And maybe I can make it look a little bigger. And it's got this it's got like a brown EQ thing in there, and it says white RTA. It looks kind of like a little brown house with RTA wrote across it in white letters. RTA audio analyzer. I got that, and I ended up paying for because it was like $2 or something. And you can use here's the thing. The microphone, funny detail. This little microphone on the bottom of these smartphones is kind of ridiculously good. Not only is it calibrated for the smartphone, but it's actually a very high quality microphone. So if you're wanting to use a microphone, you can pull a microphone out of a smartphone and use it as a microphone. And it's phenomenal. They really are good mics. I mean, it's designed specifically for that hardware, and it's not cheap. That said, if you're EQing with your phone and you're using your phone's mic on the RTA, you've got to get the microphone up here at your head. At minimum, you got to have the phone right here to see what's going on at your head. Now, in my Tahoe build, I use the RTA to balance my overall sound, and I use it on the tablet where it's mounted on the dash, which gives me a center deal. It basically, I don't use it to pull up signals for each individual speaker. I use that on my ear for that. I use it just to get my overall mids and highs and everything more balanced. And it has a very accurate RTA, very accurate mic. It's just limited in its location. That's the one I use. Now you can also get a little Type-C to USB dongle and use a USB mic that's calibrated, and you can go into the RTA and calibrate the RTA to match that mic with the little setup deal. And so you can get it, a functional movable microphone to use with a phone or a tablet with that app. It works quite well. But I use it mostly with the microphone that's built into that tablet. Because of the way that I use it, it works for what I do. Question: cheap, DSP, and effective? Yes. The B2 Audio 610 DSP is both cheap and extremely effective and solid, and it sounds good. Shifty said, question: what sub should I pair with my Tar Amps bass 1200 at 1 ohm? I got 2.5 cubic foot box at 32 hertz. And is that a 1200 watt amp? I'm not familiar with it. But a 2.5 cubic feet. Let me go over here and do a little digging for you real quick. See what I can find out. I have a suspicion, but I want to check first. I'm always about looking, and you didn't specify a size of subwoofer, but you've got a box. I know how many cubic feet it is, but I don't know what size hole it has in it. I'm going to guess if it's 2.5, it's either a 12 or a 15. Let's see. Didn't put it in there. This, I think SmackDown is, just want to confirm, 3.25 cubic feet. That's a 15. So yeah, that wouldn't work. And I believe it's 3.5. So you're probably looking at a 12. Yeah, it's a 12. Yep, I figured it. The Oblivion. Yeah, that's perfect. It'd be a little bit on the big side, but probably play the lows better. And you said You said tuning to. You said tuning to 32 hertz. So the Oblivion 12 has an FS of 36. Um, it likes a 2.2 cubic feet on the large side, so that would work pretty good. Suggested port tuning 32 to 35 hertz. Uh, I think it would work quite well. And has a 2000 watt RMS. I know how good the Oblivions are and how well they take a beating and how good they sound. So I have no problem recommending. Um, and you said 1 ohm, so you would need a dual two, a single sub. Yeah, single sub at 1 ohm. So you need a dual two. That way you could wire them together and get your 1 ohm. And let me go back here. So yeah, a dual two. So I would recommend the Slapz Car Audio Oblivion D212 with a 2000 watt RMS and a 4-inch full coil. It's $279, but you're getting a much, much, much more subwoofer than you would normally get at that price. That's got the same motor and the same magnet as my 15s do. And yeah, it'll get busy. So that's my recommendation for you. Um, that will do very well in that box. Let's see here. Kevin Hook said it works pretty well for $120 DSP for the most. I have different options, but I'm getting there. What I'm afraid of is that, well, we've had one guy talking about his, kind of exploding. I'm worried about the build quality and the noise floor. Those are the two things that I'm concerned about with those DSPs. But if it's working good for you, then cross your fingers that it keeps doing that. Hopefully it will, man. Hopefully it will. Shifty said, what? I don't know what Shifty said. Shifty said, what's it called? I don't know. RTA audio analyzer, if anybody's wondering. Yeah. Well, he said rat, but it's RTA. Yeah. And it's a good kit. It's a good piece of kit. It's got, you can change the speed that it refreshes. You can change the bands. I like to use it on 30 band because that's typically how many bands I have to work with on the DSP. So I set it up to run the same number of bands as approximately as my DSP has adjustment points. And that kind of makes sense in my brain. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with it. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. Sorry, forgot about that. It's a 12. Yeah, figured it out. You got me, man. Let's see. It was a custom box for my previous sub, but I kind of broke the desk cap. She bottomed out a little much. I want to replace it. Yeah. You'll like the Oblivion, dude. I've been beating the just absolute piss out of this thing, and it does not care. They don't care. They're a great subwoofer, and I think you'll be very happy with it. I feel really comfortable recommending Slapz subwoofers. Let's see here. Let me go to the website. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be happy with it. The Yay area says Slapz audio, baby. Perfect. It's in my range too. Yeah. Exactly. Let's see here. I'm just reading. He said, yeah, it's beefy. Normally in the voice coil for that price is a 3-inch voice coil. Yeah, that 4-inch coil is nasty, dude. It handles power well. The code CAE will get you a discount. Let's see here. For currently as I'm speaking. Yeah. Let's see what Emmett says. Emmett says, that will do. The name was enough. Wish I could have known my phone mic was enough. It's really not bad. You'll be surprised how accurate that mic is. Everyone wants to plug in a mic and everything, but if you can get your phone mic into the right position, it's going to give you a pretty damn good result. You'd be amazed at just how close it gets to a real high end mic. And I've run multiples. I've got like 3 different mics in there for DSPs. I've run multiple mics. Some of them very, very expensive. My buddy has a car audio shop, and he has an extremely extravagant setup. And I get the same basic RTA field as he does whenever I'm testing it. So it just surprisingly works pretty damn good. I say Trail would be good with that, but they're more expensive. Exactly. Yeah, dude, I don't mess around. He said, I see you bang on it like it's just every day. Yeah, I don't mess around, man. You get in, we'll be at the show and I'll be doing demos, and I'll get like one person in there and I'll do like 2 half songs, and then they'll get out. Somebody else will jump in. And I'll go right back into it. We'll do that shit, dude. We'll do that shit for for an hour or more, just back to back slamming on them, and I'm clipping the shit out of them. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, dude. I take them all the way to Clip City, and then I tie them up and beat them while they're at Clip City. I tie them up and beat them, and then kick them in the pond with concrete shoes on, and they're still beating them when they're going down under the water. They don't play, man. I beat the crap out of them. I'm just telling you what works. It's that simple. Um, Shifter said, I used to think my aux upgraded recording and streaming mic and phone had a better built-in mic. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I can tell you this, just like I was talking about the optical thing. You can hook up, $1,000 RTA setup. Okay, $2,000, $5,000. Some of the best gear out there, and I can play the pink noise track, and I can set my phone down there where that mic is, and that RTA, and it'll show the same exact graph on my RTA as it's showing on that screen of that exotic system. It's just the same thing. I just know what I know, and that's what I know. I've seen it over and over again. It shows the same damn thing. It's all about where the mic is, man. The only plus to having an external mic really is getting the mic in the right location. That's really the plus. Yeah, that 12 can take 2,000 watts easily, constant, easily. But it will. I'll tell you this too. It will do quite well with a real 900 watts going to it. It's going to do very well with an actual 900 watts, meaning your clamped power, what you're actually producing. I was windy as shit, and I was putting out 5,000 watts on 4 of them, which is 1,250 watts a piece. And I was very, very windy, so you're in the right power neighborhood, but you can go bigger if you decide to. Slapz audio making me feel like it's better than Sundown. Budget woofers, the same price. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is. I mean, comparing spec for spec, if you just take the name brand off and you just stack the specs up, look at all the details of the specs of the subwoofer. They're way outside their price range. The quality you're getting and the components you're getting and the specs you're getting. If you try to buy those specs anywhere else, you're going to pay twice as much money. It's just that simple. I can't explain it any closer than that. Big Boss 5K, good solid amp. But look at the Slapz 3K, Shock 3K. That'd be a sweet amp for that setup. Look at the price on that. The Shock 3K. Just saying, look at the price on that. Stu's Custom Shop, and they're the same. They got the Shock 5K too, but that 3K would work really well on a single set. Stu said, "Good evening, gents. Just stopping in to say hi and smash the snot out of that like button." I love it, man. You guys are great. You guys are so great. Location means everything. Yep. Clamped at 1K, yeah, you'll be fine, man. But yeah, you could use a teeny bit more power. That's going to work fine, but you could. Sweet spot's going to be clamping it around 15. That's going to be right on the money for those subs. If you're actually clamping at 15, playing the frequencies, that's where you're going to want to try to keep. So you could use a tad more power to start with. Yeah, check out the 3K, the Shock 3K. Go over there and look. Can I make this work? I typically break shit whenever I try to do this. Just saying. Let's see what that does. Oh, well, that worked. Okay. So this guy, that's the old school one. The one I would recommend. Where did it go? It's right there. Read this dude. This dude right here. You're going to clamp probably about 1,600 or 1,700 watts out of this. After impedance rise, you're going to probably get that, which makes it just about perfect for that single 12. It'll eat this thing alive. They'll work really well together. And you're looking at, less than $200 plus 10% off of that using my discount code CAE. Yeah, you just can't go wrong. And if you think these amps look familiar, they're all basically clones of the Sundown full bridge amps. And I've got multiple friends running the same amp style. Plus I'm running them in my Tahoe. They're solid. I've never shut one of them off. They take abuse and they do the thing. So if you're looking for something that does the thing, this will do the thing. It'll just work. It'll just do the thing. And that's what's up. And yeah, the prices. That's what I was telling you, man. Look at the price. Just go over there and just look at it. Sometimes you just got to look at it. Yeah, exactly. He said same. He said same price I paid for the 1,200. Yeah, no doubt, dude. What's up, Alex? Nice to see you in here. Nice to see you guys in here tonight. Just one of those random shows, man. Has anybody got any more questions for me? Because I got lasagna calling me. If you don't keep me talking, I'll start getting hungry. Got any suggestions on this corner over here? I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make this work. Visually, it's right now I'm just letting it eat at you because I want you guys to give me some input. I could build some. I've got one idea for it that I'm probably going to do. Actually, I think I'm probably going to do it. Yeah, if you decided to go with two subs at some point, having two 3Ks would work just fine for that. So going with the 3K is just totally fine. Then you could because if you get dual twos and all that, and then you say I want to go 212s, well now you're going to be at that weird on load. So just running 212s off of two separate amps would work fine. It makes growing easy, and you always got to think about how you'll grow and what you'll do next because you will because bass. So having considered all that, I recommend going with the 1 ohm and then going with the 3K. And you could always add another 3K and another 12 later if you wanted to. And you can grow that way. One thing doesn't become obsolete where you try to do something different. That's always thinking about shit like that. Yeah, see, you're already in there. The other way to look at it is you could run, you could, in theory, run a dual 4 at 2 ohms and then run it on a 5K. And then at some point, if you wanted to add more, then you would just add other dual 4 sub, get it down to 2 ohms each, and then leaving a 1 ohm load on your 5K. And now, you've basically doubled the power you're pulling out of the amplifier. So that's an option too. Just consider that, thinking ahead, and so that you're not fighting yourself into a corner. Always think about how you're going to use this in the next phase. Think about that, because you will have a next phase, and you don't want something to become obsolete and get replaced. You want to be able to move it forward into the build. So consider those things. That's what I tell everybody. Oh man, lasagna. Check it. Yeah, lasagna's got to happen before that. Let's see. Oh, sweet. Let's see. Y'all are going on about it. 5K, not 3K, not 5K. Lasagna, that's a sin. No, man, lasagna is on fire. It's on fire. And look, guys, look. Pro tip. Y'all heads up. Y'all listen to this shit. When you make your lasagna, mix ground beef and pork together. Ground beef and sausage together. And add a healthy amount of jalapenos. You'll be very excited whenever you take a bite. It's amazing. The combination, adding that pork in there for that extra flavor and adding the jalapenos in there to give it a kick, just changes the game on lasagna. So just a heads up. Pro tip, baby. I'm all about it. It happens, man. We got to do it. You got a bottle, man. Get them babies, man. Take care of them. Cornet said, check out that email. I'll give you a place to store some old equipment. After the lasagna, yeah, no doubt. Yeah. See, that's the thing. A lot of people don't go down that road. Look at your build, figure out what's going to work now, and then look at what you're planning in the future and go, okay, well, how can I change what I'm doing now to make it better for the future build? Instead of cornering yourself, and that happens all the time. It's like say you only need to amplify 2 channels in the front. You could buy a 2-channel amplifier, but you're planning on going active in the front at some point in the future and adding some tweeters. Why not buy a 4-channel amplifier now, and then later on you'll have the channels to do the things that you want to do. Thinking ahead, can save it. Like maybe you're buying a 5-channel amplifier. You go, well, why would I buy a 5-channel amplifier when I can buy a 4 and a 1 and then I can split them up? You can do stuff with a 5-channel amplifier. You could amplify a whole front stage with a single 5-channel amplifier. You could do mids in the doors, tweeters in the A-pillars on both sides, and do a front sub off that 5th channel and use that 5-channel for your whole front stage, and then throw a sub amp in the back. Think about shit like that. What am I going to do with it later? How can I use it later? Instead of buying a 2-channel or a 4-channel, why not buy a 5-channel? For now, you could use it to run your sub. Later on, you could use it to run a front sub, or you could use it to run a pair of speakers that are somewhere up there, one on each side. There's all kinds of options. Think about shit. All right, guys, we're going to get up out of here. Y'all, remember the most important thing. Be nice to each other. Love your neighbor. Love your people. Take care of your people. Be the example for everyone else to follow as to how to be a gentleman and show love and respect to each other, because that's something we need a lot of in this world. Now, let's get the duck out of here.
Yeah.
up for the show. Hours charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home. Another one bites the dust. Eyes are glowing and the amp is smoking. Subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass slamming. Gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go. 20 hertz in the floating air. Sparks are flying, voice cords are frying, and the smoke is in the air. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust.